In a previous video, we sailed Destiny from Biscayne Bay in Miami up to St. Augustine, Florida. That was the first leg of moving the boat up to the Chesapeake Bay area for hurricane season. In this video, we'll be sailing Destiny the rest of the way from St. Augustine up to Virginia.
We just got our new curtains up, and here comes the first storm to test them out in.
So you're saying we got them just in the nick of time?
I'd say just in the nick of time.
Before starting out on the next leg, we decided that we wanted to add some weather protection to Destiny, so we contacted Justin Cooper of Cooper Canvas and had him and his wife add a three-sided weather enclosure to the cockpit of our sailboat. They did a great job, and we were extremely satisfied with the protection that it gave us while we were rounding Cape Hatteras. When we got to St. Augustine, we moored the boat at the municipal marina right next to the Bridge of Lions. We found that marina to be first class, and it was right in the heart of downtown. We really enjoyed being there. Our first visitors in St. Augustine was our youngest daughter Megan and her fiance Mike.
Hey guys!
Hey.
How's it going?
Good.
You having fun?
Yep. Happy hour.
Happy hour. Every day's happy hour on a boat, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, what is the state fish of Hawaii, Mike?
The Hawaiian state fish is the Huma Huma Nuka Nuka Apua.
And with that tidbit of happy hour trivia, we're off to explore St. Augustine. After Megan and Mike left, I made a quick trip back to my hometown area of Northwest Florida to say hey to my parents and my sister. And now it was finally time to cast off the lines, slip back out into the Atlantic Ocean, and challenge Cape Hatteras. On board with us for this adventure were our friends Mark and Shelley and Nick and Sherry.
We pulled out of the St. Augustine Municipal Marina on June 29th and were transiting the Bridge of Lions at its 7 a.m. opening.
Soon after slipping through the St. Augustine Pass, we raised the sails. Once the sails were up, it was time to give the safety briefing.
That yellow line is about 75 feet long, so if someone's overboard, there's a quick line you can grab and throw them one end. Fire extinguishers, there's 5 on board. You can see them all. Life jackets are all down in this hatch down in here. So this is the emergency beacon right here. There's also an emergency beacon associated with the AIS. Did I show you all that? Most important thing, so there's alarms on the boat. If water rises in the bilges, there's bilge pumps that will come on, but there's also an alarm that goes off so that you know that there must be a problem. And I need somebody to be responsible for it.
Yep.
How we get rid of those?
I know.
So I'm going to make the alarm go off just so you know what it sounds like, okay?
This is only a test.
Y'all hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not very
So
well.
here's the important part. If you hear that noise, it means there's a leak in the boat somewhere. And we need to ascertain where that leak is, and I need someone to be responsible for tasting the water in the bilge.
Mark.
Huh?
Mark.
Mark? Okay.
I vote Mark.
Mark, we'll do this. Because we need to know if it's salt water. That way we look for our through-hole fittings. But it could also be fresh water coming from our storage tanks. And we don't want to waste time looking for a leak in the salt, in the
Well, you're losing all your fresh water.
Right. And it also could be sewage, and we need to know it's sewage. So you'll be able to tell that when you
When it's sewage.
I like that we pick Mark.
All right, Mark, take one for the team.
Hey, it won't be the first time.
Well, stand over and be like, "Number two,
Yeah, which one is it? It was an ambitious trip to make on a newly purchased boat. We had 2 couples helping crew with us, none of which had any sailing experience. In addition, we were on a tight schedule as they only had a week of leave scheduled for the entire trip. It would be learning as we go for the crew. Our first day at sea was somewhat rough as we were surrounded by scattered thunderstorms most of the day. Jeff did his best to teach the crew the basics of sailing, navigation, and most importantly, collision avoidance.
What's going on, Heather?
Well, we got a freighter coming up here on the bow. We're on a collision course, so it's pretty scary right now, but I think I got things under control.
Okay, no more. Tell us without the sarcasm now. What's up?
I just told you. We got it all under control, man. We are headed away from it.
Let's take a look at what we avoided.
It didn't take long before everyone had their sea legs and we fell into a comfortable routine.
What you doing?
Letting the chicken thaw out for dinner.
What are we having for dinner?
We're having barbecue chicken sandwiches, potato salad, and baked beans.
Did I mention how beautiful the sunrise and sunsets were?
We had been sailing 20 to 50 miles offshore and had no cell service. We don't yet have a single sideband radio or satellite phones, so we have no access to weather updates while offshore. We knew we needed to get an update before rounding Cape Hatteras, as the fast-flowing Gulf Stream just offshore can create large, steep waves if there's a north wind. Our initial plan was to approach the sea buoy near Charleston to get within cell phone range so we could get a weather update using Predict Wind. As soon as we got a signal, the weather checked out good, so we headed for Beaufort, North Carolina for another update and to supply the boat before rounding the Cape. We estimated it would take about 2.5 days to get to the sea buoy and anticipated pulling in late in the afternoon. That would give us a chance to get anchored before dark and allow for a much-needed good night's sleep. Unfortunately, our ability to correctly predict our sailing speed was much like our ability to predict the winning lottery number. The winds didn't pan out as planned, and we appear to be fighting a strong current. We approached the Beaufort sea buoy around midnight, and although we had pledged never to enter a small unknown pass in the dark, the thought of circling around the buoy for the next several hours until dawn was not appealing, and we made our approach. Huge mistake. As we approached the channel, we were caught in a combination of cross currents, ripping outgoing tide, and strong opposing winds that were whipping us all over. And if that wasn't bad enough, they were dredging the channel, so they rerouted the navigable channel with the addition of small temporary buoys. The dredging operation was taking up the entire primary channel, and the light pollution coming from the dredge destroyed our night vision. One mistake and we would be washed aground. Luckily, with the help of the crew and spotting buoys, we made it through. We dropped our anchor around 2:30 a.m. and everybody finally crawled into their bunks and crashed for a much-needed rest. Nobody was filming during our harrowing experience coming through the pass, and the video footage you've been watching is the next morning as we made our way to a dock. to refuel and resupply the boat before going around Cape Hatteras. Enough of that, let's get back to sailing. No sea voyage would be complete without dragging a few baits through the water for some great tasting table fare. Catch, grill, and eat.
Right, Shelly, hit on it. I'm trying. I'm hammering.
Tell me what you're doing.
I'm going to use this bonita looking squid on the small rod. I'm going to put a bird and another squid on the bigger rod beside it so they're in a school. I'll put a cedar plug over there away from it because the squid lures swim the same, the cedar plug swim different. So you put like lures together, you can fish them closer together. That's a pretty good one.
All right, never got her one.
Getting ready to enjoy the fresh mahi that the guys caught today.
It's been marinating in the lime and lemon juice for a couple hours. Go cook it.
The weather off Cape Hatteras was the worst of our trip. We were surrounded by thunderstorms, and I'm sure everyone was wondering what would happen should Destiny get struck by lightning. The strong current of the Gulf Stream pushed us along at our fastest speed yet, and as we left it, the weather improved and we gained fair winds off the stern. This allowed us to fly the spinnaker, gliding comfortably through the water to a steady rhythm as the sun set was one of our most memorable moments. Almost 6 days after leaving St Augustine, we approached the sea buoy marking the Chesapeake Bay. It was a beautiful morning and the sun was just beginning to rise, casting an orange glow on all the freighters anchored and awaiting their turn to unload. The seas had calmed and a cool breeze blew in, smelling of pine trees and earth. As an added treat, a Navy carrier fleet was leaving port, so we watched in awe as the parade of military ships traversed the waters headed out to sea. By Friday afternoon, we were anchored off Fort Monroe near Hampton, Virginia, and a celebratory bottle of Kraken rum was unleashed as we toasted our adventures.
This is going to be a little video. I'm just taking video. We're going to sit down or stand up?
You're right south.
How's this going to work?
We're all mixed up though.
Okay, you girls move.
Everybody's
You got it.
I got to be in the middle with this. Okay, it's a video, so it's not a picture. We're not waiting for a flash. Everybody smile right now. Hold it. Hold my stick.
Nobody else will.
Get over it. Should I pan?
Yeah, up and down a little bit. Just slowly.
Not across?
Well, you can do whatever you want.
Everybody put different
Hold it higher though, sir. Higher?
Everybody put different expressions on your face.
Everybody smile the whole time.
As miles as I can.
Okay. Higher? Higher. Big smile, Mark.
How about we all lay down?
Wasn't that funny?
No, I don't get it either.
Well,
No, say, please stand clear of the doors in Spanish.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténgase alejado de las puertas.
What are y'all doing?
What are you doing?
taking a group shower. Group shower time.
You missed Nick say, hey Mark, get my bag.
Okay, so there's an old saying that if a beautiful woman spits on the lure, that they will catch fish. So we are trying
She
this
spit
out.
on her hand.
No, I didn't.
All right, now your hand's got to go in the water.
Yes, warship coming out of Norfolk. Warship coming out of Norfolk. This is sailing vessel Girlfriend requesting that you reduce speed. You are in a no wake zone. Captain, do you hear me? You are in a no wake zone. Over. Hello? Anybody hear me on that warship?
Thank you for watching our video. If you liked it, please give us a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more in the future, click on the subscribe button.